right, welcome out everybody to the doctor's office. I go by the name of the Ear Doctor, and this is Black Power Media. Today, I am bringing to the doctor's office a sister. Her name is Kelly Jorae, and she is the founder, CEO of Sacred Waters Wellness Arts Studio. And this is a creative space for healing, wellness, and detox. So, what I wanted to do was bring her here and ask her some questions and get into everything that she does. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up for Kelly Joe Ray.
Damn.
Hey,
Hey, what's good? How you today?
I am doing wonderful. Thank you so much for having me here.
Hey, thank you. We got to play one of your songs a while back on Black Power Media Blockers. So that was a little introduction, but I've known you for a while and I know you've been doing some serious work in the community and really helping people live, giving them life, a longer life.
Yes.
So I wanted to bring you here and ask you some questions so other people can understand more about what you do and how it can help them in their journey in life. But first, we want to start off with where are you from and how did you even get here to Atlanta?
So I am born and raised in Los Angeles, California.
Mm,
Um, and I came here many years ago.
okay.
Many years ago. So I've been probably in the Atlanta area for yeah, almost half my life.
Mm,
Over 20 years. And I just needed a change. I was just ready for a change, a pace, and it was a part of my, my grow up, and just giving myself a fresh new start in a new city with new people. Um, and I honestly just fell in love with Atlanta when I came to visit. It was a, by chance visit. I loved it. I came to visit in maybe like the month of November,
hmm.
and I believe I moved the month of March that following year.
Okay. Okay. So you got here. I mean, you leaving beautiful weather and coming to Atlanta. I hope it was in the summer when you came.
Well, when I came in November of that time, over 20 something years ago,
Mm,
one of the things that I noticed was the clear blue sky. I'll never forget that riding in the car because I drove here for my first trip. I
mm,
drove here with a friend acquaintance
okay.
from Los Angeles, and he happened to be a DJ himself.
Okay.
And the weather was beautiful in November for me. The
Mm,
air was so clear. There wasn't any smog. There was so much smog, in Los Angeles at that time. And I just would imagine that it may have not gotten better,
mm,
but
yeah.
that was one of the things that I fell in love with. And it was so green. Atlanta was
Yeah.
just so green. Just the trees, the kudzu, was just beautiful. So I truly
That I
loved
must say in all the people. I've never got to a place and I've seen this many black people getting along and actually pretty cool. So it
it.
was something different, especially coming from Jersey. So I could
Yes,
imagine. Now,
yes.
you are the founder and CEO of Sacred Waters Wellness Art Studio. Um, First, before we talk about that, what even led you to this more healthier lifestyle, and what was it that made you even want to change from? I don't know what your diet was before that or how you treated your body before that, but what led you into this direction?
Well, I think a lot of my growing up experiences, even though when I would be first introduced to something, it may have not stuck with me at that particular time,
Hmm.
um, or it just took me some time to really absorb it. So I believe it was just a part of lifestyle. But I was exposed. There was a period of time we left Los Angeles and we moved to Northern California.
Hmm.
We lived in a small beach town, Santa Cruz, California. It's a beautiful town on the coast, boardwalk. So it had somewhat of a tourist aspect. But we went there, and we lived on the University of California at Santa Cruz, which is a beautiful, you know, space, high above the town,
Hmm.
beautiful ocean views. So we're in the mountains, basically, the lower mountains
Mm.
of Santa Cruz, living on the campus. And the mascot of that university was a banana slug.
A
So that
who?
kind of paints the picture of what the
Whoa,
landscape.
whoa, 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 whoa. A what?
A banana slug.
What is that?
It looks like a big yellow snail. That was like the mascot of this
There's no way
university.
y'all won any games.
No, they didn't have any professional, not that I know of,
Yeah,
at
I
that
bet.
particular time. They formed, some things, during the time that I was there. But yeah, so that just kind of gives you an idea of my exposure. And this is coming from, a young Black girl leaving Los Angeles.
Mm,
I want to say, kind of not wholeheartedly just raw inner city, but I
mm,
mean, it was in Los Angeles proper,
mm.
leaning towards the west side of Los Angeles. But I grew up right there in the, you know, uh, Crenshaw. If anyone's listening and they're from Los Angeles, Crenshaw, Washington, and La Brea area, that's where I grew up. And to move from there to Santa Cruz, it was definitely culture shock at that time. I know culture shock still exists, but
Yeah.
we have become, global in how we interact and communicate with people. But it was very different for me.
So
And
so what you just ate a bad piece of pork and was like, I ain't doing this no more? Or what was it that made you say I'm changing up?
no, when your classmates are eating rice cakes smearing peanut butter on it, you get curious. You know right away that you don't like rice cakes because they don't taste like anything. But then the tofu is introduced to you, and
Yeah.
it was just a matter of the right person, coming into my life and introducing me to vegetarianism, and that was my childhood best friend's mother.
Oh, okay.
She, was making some scrambled tofu, and I ate it and I actually liked it. She chopped up some onions and some peppers, and
Yeah.
I was a teenager then, so I was exposed to it, and I liked it. She made it taste good, and so curiosity just grew over time. It always came back to me, you know.
Mm. Hey,
So
when I was a super meat eater, real quick, I went
mhm.
to somebody's house for Thanksgiving and didn't know that there was a vegan.
Oh my
You
god.
talking about heated? I was like, when they gonna bring out the turkey? What's going on?
No, maybe some tofurkey, but not
So being around these different people is what kind of made you interested in finding out, why they eating like this. Go ahead, continue.
it influenced me. That and then, when I got into my, you know, early 20s, I
Yeah.
dated someone that was a vegetarian, and that really opened up. Not only
Mm,
was he vegetarian, he was, a Rastafarian.
mm,
So that gave me a different exposure, to, vegetarianism. And from there, I just met people in that community, and outside, that community. And I just, took it upon myself to learn more. And I loved, nature anyway. I already liked, kind of making things, for myself at home,
mm-hmm.
just mixing, trying to make lipstick, where I would literally take some of my mom's lipsticks and mix them up. And she'd be like, "What happened to my lipstick?" I put a Q-tip in there and mix it up with some Vaseline and
Word.
just experimenting, trying to make my own natural stuff. But
Okay,
so
Imhotep over here. I see you. She was a comedic chemist. But
mhm,
so with that said, you was learning more about the body and stuff, and then colonics. Please
mhm,
explain what, because pretty much when I first met you, I was DJing and everything on the radio, but then you
mhm.
told me about that you do colonics, and I was like,
Right.
colonics.
Mhm,
So I went and got a colonic done, and
mhm.
explain to people who don't know what a colonic is what it is.
Okay, so just so people understand, at Sacred Waters, colon hydrotherapy is our primary service, and that's
Mm,
just another term for a colonic. A colonic is very similar to an enema, but it is referred to as a high enema. And the process is when water is infused, the water is filtered, sterilized, it's infused into your large colon. And when that water goes inside the colon, it creates peristalsis, which
Mm.
is the contractions that we experience when our body signals us to eliminate, to 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 poop.
Okay.
And so that water fills the colon, it creates the peristalsis, and the water is released. That water will soften and loosen up any stagnant waste. So that waste is released. One thing I like to tell people off the top, it's not messy and it's an odorless process. It is
Mm.
very private. You're fully covered throughout the process. We guide our clients, and I refer to it as safe and guided colon hydrotherapy because we explain everything step by step prior to getting a session started with the clients. We pre-screen our clients to make sure that they don't have any, medical conditions, but that water is very soothing. And for most people, it's relaxing to have that water fill your colon and release waste. And a process, a session is about 45 minutes.
Mm.
Again, the water's filtered, sterilized, and it's warm. It's temperature regulated water. So the goal is just to get the colon hydrated to help create a clear flowing system because our body is a flow system.
Mm.
And a lot of us are not flowing like we need to. Most of us, are walking around with these swollen, guts, especially when
Yes.
you reach a certain age. But I mean, it's this age is declining. So, you have
Yeah.
people who
'Cause
are full of crap.
yeah, I mean, cause it's like, you hear more about colon cancer more and more. Before you wasn't hearing about it like that, but now more and more, all the stuff you put in your body, that's
Mm.
microwave, this, that, and the third, and it's sitting in there. If you was to compare the body to a car, how would you make that comparison to a colonic?
Oh, well,
Is it an oil change
mm, it could be an oil change because
or
that
a
works,
flush?
directly with the, like your engine. You want to
Yeah,
keep the, I don't know, say the body is the engine. So
yeah.
yeah, the colonic could be, the oil change.
Mm,
Um, and it's not something that everyone has to do, but for some people it is essential for them. And I'm discovering more and more as we evolve, as this society evolves and things change, how
mhm.
people, really get into a place where their digestive system is just not working, the way they need to maintain optimal health. So colon hydrotherapy does help them, with keeping the colon hydrated and keeping things moving and flowing.
Okay, okay. So, when you do the colonic, like I went and had the colonic done, I laid on the table. Beautiful music was playing. Like you said, it was nice to relax. What type of equipment do you say you use, and what type of herbs? Is it like herbs you use to put in the body? Because what I did here is about, and I'm gonna let you explain this, about good and bad bacteria, because I'm hearing about once it goes in your body, it takes out bacteria. But yeah, what type of equipment, herbs, and all that do you use?
So with colon hydrotherapy, most of us practitioners, we become certified,
Hmm.
and it depends on what state you're in. In the state of Georgia, it's there's no licensing or requirements, to be certified.
Mm.
So I chose to become certified because I wanted to learn from a professional, someone who had experience and had been providing colon hydrotherapy for many years. So I
Mm.
became certified as a colon hydrotherapist.
Okay.
Um, so in terms of the water that's being used, we just use pure filtered sterilized water. We
Hmm.
don't put any additives because then that would be crossing another line in terms of the services that we provide. It's not a medical procedure or a medical treatment.
Hmm.
It is a self-care, self-elected. It's something that you essentially can do from your home,
Hmm.
but because we use this state of the art, FDA registered equipment,
Talk that
it
talk.
works in a different way to where you get the best results in terms of hydrating your colon.
Yeah, because
So
I would guess certain waters would throw off the pH balance or something like that. Am I wrong?
that is possible, but
Okay.
we just don't take it upon ourselves as
Gotcha.
therapists to say inject or infuse anything other than water. However, I do have requests from some clients that do go beyond just using water.
Mm.
So there are some things that people use with enemas. Coffee is one, because it's
Oh,
very detoxifying to the liver, to help the liver pull toxins. There
well,
are even
I do
some.
colonics every morning. Then go ahead.
Well, this coffee is infused into your Coke.
Oh, it go.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So this coffee is infused, and then so that's what I thought you were asking about additives, because the water is clear, but
Yeah.
there are coffee enemas, wheatgrass, particularly with
Mm,
people who are dealing with very serious chronic, illnesses, different types of cancers, leukemias, tumors, and they're wanting to do really deep advanced detoxification in some of the foremost wellness centers, integrative medical centers do use
mhm,
colon hydrotherapy, coffee enemas, wheatgrass enemas. And it really just depends on who you're talking to, because it's not one of the things that's really supported by the medical
mhm,
community. But we do have a lot of doctors who advocate for the use of it, because they do believe it does help when
mm.
a person is heavily intoxicated, and their body just continues to recycle toxins, and a lot of it has to do with lifestyle,
So let me get this
exposure.
straight. So you
Mhm.
basically use water, and I was thinking about the herbs. Would the herbs come after it's done? Like I was saying about the bacteria, or how was different herbs?
So in terms of the good and bad bacteria, when you cleanse, you cleanse out bad. You could possibly cleanse out good, but it's usually an insignificant amount. So
Mhm,
we always recommend that our clients follow up with electrolytes and with
mm,
probiotics. And you could take your probiotic in a supplement form, or you can eat probiotic foods. There are a lot of popular foods that are becoming available, but I think the best are fermented foods when you ferment them yourself,
mm,
because you know exactly what you're getting. And a lot of things that go to market have to be pasteurized. And once something is pasteurized, heated, or processed, it loses a lot of the valuable nutrients or bacteria in that case.
okay.
With but there's things that people are doing. There are dairy and non-dairy yogurts. There are fermented drinks like kombucha, which is really
Oh yeah,
popular
yeah.
now. And there's, sauerkraut, kimchi, these type of things that are not commonplace for many of us to eat,
Mm,
but if you do have a plate full of soul food, whether it's, vegetarian, vegan, or not, it would be helpful to include, some type of a fermented food in your, dietary program, which is
okay.
something that I preach, to many
All
of
right.
my clients who are really like in tune with making changes with their
Got you.
digestive system.
So let's role play real quick. I'm a
Uh-oh.
guy off the street. How do you tell a black man to go and get a colonic? Cause we like sticks. What in a what?
Yeah.
How's that
Yeah.
conversation?
Well, I think in my position, because I
Yeah.
have both men and women, and I have children, and I have elderly clients, I don't so much see an issue.
Mm,
It's for some people and it's not for others. I don't think it has anything to do with masculinity, but I do see more of a trend where unfortunately a lot of black men don't like to go to the doctor.
mm,
That has just been an historical trend,
yeah.
because they don't trust them. So, you know, exposing themselves to something like colon hydrotherapy, if they're coming from that mindset, may be challenging for them. But I like for people to understand it has nothing to do with masculinity or femininity. I have children as young as 6 and as old as 82. So I usually tell people I have clients as young as 6 years old and as young as 82 years old.
Mm,
And they use it because it benefits them, or they put themselves in a position to where they need that extra support.
mm.
And that's usually because, again, poor dietary choices, just, poor eating. Um, they just live a sedentary lifestyle.
Yeah.
So they need that help. So if you are a black man and you want to use colon hydrotherapy, it's okay. It has nothing to do with you being masculine or not masculine. It has everything to do with you wanting to support your well-being, and your colon is a great place to work on and nurture. A lot of people don't think about, we just don't think about our, how each of these organs are connected with each other, but this
Yeah.
this colon is so important. And another thing that I do share with Black men is that, they're the highest, they rank the highest of colon cancer, in
Facts.
America, is Black men.
Yes. Yes.
Colon cancer, prostate cancer,
Mm.
other issues like cardiovascular health. So, if it's not colon hydrotherapy for you, there are alternative things that you can do, from the comforts of your home,
Yeah.
um, to help with cleansing the colon. But there is no greater element than
Okay.
water to help
You
hydrate and cleanse the
you're right.
body, period.
You could go to Taco Bell and get them wings. I heard that they doing Colonic.
You know what? You know, you're wrong for
Nah,
that.
nah, but seriously though, how many times should one get a colonic? Because I know I got one,
Okay.
and I ain't been back since like eight
Well,
years ago.
it's kind of tricky, but I always recommend for people getting started with colon hydrotherapy to do 2 sessions.
Okay.
2 sessions are ideal to do back to back. And that means 2 consecutive days. So you would come in today and you would come in tomorrow. And the reason why is because the colon is 5.5 to 6 feet long. So it does take time to hydrate the colon, fully, so that they can soften and loosen up, stagnant waste, any buildup of, of mucus that's inside the colon. And it
Mm,
does happen. And some people can do an over the counter, laxative or an herbal remedy to help with them. But I get a lot of people who it does not, it doesn't help. And sometimes it has an adverse reaction. So you have to figure out what's going to work for you, maybe take baby steps. But I definitely recommend a minimum of 2 sessions. And then
mm,
if you're doing advanced detoxification, it's like you have a goal, you're wanting to, say you have a diagnosis of something, very chronic, something serious. Um, they may do a series of sessions.
mm,
It could be weight loss for some people. It could just be a lifestyle change, just wanting to really get that colon in a good place, restore its balance so that you're producing that good balance of bacteria. So they may do a series anywhere from 6 to 12 sessions. And
okay.
that is done to the first week, to the second week, and 1 session weekly. And people think, oh, that's too many, but you're going to be
Mm,
making a lifestyle change. You want to
mm,
reset, and you want to, start to nourish and build that good gut, and just, give yourself a chance to have a strong immune system, better digestion as much as possible, glowing skin. So those are the things that my clients experience. That's what they tell me. Like, when I did the series, I felt so much better versus just doing, one here. Some people will do one every other month. That works for them because they're doing the work in between. But even people who surprisingly eat, plant-based diets, raw vegan diets, they may do one and think, oh, there's nothing in there. Well, that first session is just scraping the surface. Sometimes
mm,
it's kind of brain racking because people think that I'm pushing it on them. But the best way is to always do a minimum of 2 when you're
mm.
starting, or when there's been a lot of time, or when there's just any type of sluggishness. The two
Yeah.
sessions back to back
Yeah.
is
I
what I
mean,
recommend, a minimum.
because I mean that the stuff stays in your colon for like depending on what you eat. I hear it stays in your colon forever. So I assume that when a little bit of water get in there, it might loosen it up. But you're gonna definitely need more to really like get in there and just knock it all out. So I
Yeah.
could definitely see that. I'm gonna be back this year and get
Okay.
my colonics done.
You
I got
better, because it's been a
cause
long, long time.
it
Yeah, it's been a
has.
long, but
And look,
I'm
I'm trying to look young like you. You like 80 years old over here, looking like you
right.
See, y'all better go
You
get a
said
colonics.
you said 80. Yeah, you said 80. Wow. Yeah, I'm getting
Nah,
up there,
nah,
but
you ain't that old, but you definitely. I ain't even gonna ask because we already know that you looking great for your age. Because you've been doing it as in the colonics and good health. I see you all around the place, and we talked before, and you told me that your pops was a DJ. Is this correct?
well, my father was not a DJ. he owned a record store.
A
We
record
owned
store.
a
That's right.
large record store in Los Angeles, what's called South Central Los Angeles, on Florence and Hoover. And this was
Okay,
in the
represent.
70s. This was in the 70s and in the 80s. And he also had a nightclub. He had a few other businesses. He was always in the studio. He was a dealer of Blue Note records, a
Mm,
lot of oldie classic music. And so I grew up around music.
okay.
Interestingly, I don't sing, but I grew
Oh,
up around music.
you sure?
I'm sure.
I mean, because I asked this question about the music and stuff because I talked earlier about how you dropped your lyrics on the song Blockers. So
Yeah.
how long you been making music? Because you saying you don't sing, but I know you spit that hot fire like Dylan.
A little something, a little something. I
Ah,
I, I
so
actually
modest.
I actually started in high school, and it was
Hmm.
something I would do on the local radio station.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
yeah, I was, well, a good friend of mine I've been around all these music people all my life. Good friend of mine was a DJ, and he was like on the nonprofit station in Santa
Hmm.
Cruz, California, and I would accompany him um, at the station. He ended up, working with Baby T in Oakland.
Hmm.
I visited that station a few times. We were young. We were in high school. So I did. I got on the stage a few times when I was
Okay.
a high school student. It was fun. And then Salt and Pepper came, and I was just like, oh my gosh, you know. But
Word.
yeah, I go way back. Roxanne Shante,
Okay.
um,
And
yeah,
especially out in the
and I
West Coast, what y'all have Supersonic, JJ Fad.
yeah, JJ Fad, love them, love them. So those
Word.
type of people would come to my father's record store,
Hmm.
back then. So all my life I've been, around, music, but it's kind of like a distant, love relationship that I've had.
So you dropping anything soon? What? That's just a hobby.
You know what? It is for me, it is a hobby, but I have fun with it. Me
Hmm.
and the hubby are, working on some stuff for
Oh,
2022. So I'm probably going to infuse some of it with my work, and maybe use some for marketing for
okay.
fun. But yeah,
All right.
that's
Well,
about it. Yeah.
I love it because when just like how we first met, I was doing nonprofit radio, and y'all called in and was like, "Yo, we
Yeah.
need you to DJ this party."
I
I
used
was
to
like,
love.
"Let's get it."
I would listen to you, and I was like, I'm gonna get him. He's gonna be the DJ for my birthday party.
Word. So since we talking about music, I got questions. I like to play around with.
Okay.
Here's a question for you. You got two artists coming to town. You can only see one. One is Jill Scott, and the other is Erica Badu. Which one are
Ooh,
you gonna go see?
that is so hard. I was like, oh my gosh, if I'm balling, I'm gonna figure out how I can go see both of them.
See,
I'm gonna try to see both of them. But honestly, like if it was like present day, I love Erica Badu. I
Mhm.
have seen her multiple times, and they're very memorable. The first time I saw her live in concert was at the Fox Theater here in Atlanta,
I
and I
was
was
there.
pregnant with my daughter. You were
I
there?
was there.
I
I
was
was
pregnant
there.
with my daughter. Oh my gosh. And
She
she's
killed it.
grown. Yeah, that was such a wonderful show. But I was pregnant with my daughter, and I had such a wonderful time. I was so grateful. I also saw her with Wu Tang and Talib and Most
Hmm.
Def. And then I've seen her in some intimate spaces, still from a distance when she was DJing. So I love Erica Badu. I have never seen Jill Scott perform live. And interestingly, I saw something recently that popped up that I didn't even know about. And
Hmm.
someone told me, she said, that's, oh, but Jill has some type of performance that she does. It's, I don't know, it's kind of awkward to talk about, but there's some type of demonstration she does with the
Oh, with
microphone.
the
But
microphone? Oh,
yeah,
yes, I know about
I
that one.
heard about that. And I was like, oh, I didn't know
Listen,
Jill.
I hear all that, but if you see her perform, you will be blown away. I mean, even off the Dave Chappelle block party joint, she killed it. But
Mhm.
Jill Scott has a great concert. For me, I ain't gonna front. I will go see Jill first just because I've seen her before. I seen Erica too. I don't know. You right. I would try to go see both.
But if I had to choose, at this point, I would choose to go see Jill because I've never seen her before.
Okay, that
Yeah,
makes sense.
I would choose
All
Jill.
right. All right,
Mhm.
so we got all these versus things going on out here. This
Mhm.
person battling this person. Now, I wanted to take it to another level of verses.
Okay.
Here's my verses: Dr. Layla Africa versus Queen Afua. Who you got?
Mm. Wow, both of them are so profound in all the work that they've done for the Black community and
Mm,
just for humanity in general. Because if we're not healthy, nobody's healthy.
yeah.
Um, but Queen Afua is the Heal Thyself and the Sacred Woman. Oh
Mm,
my gosh, those are wonderful. Um, from a practitioner standpoint, I think I've gained, more from the books that I've read of Dr. Layla Africa.
mm,
And I like that, you know,
yeah.
um,
I
that's a
can
tough
see that.
one. But I'm gonna go with Dr. Africa right now since he's no
Hmm.
longer with us. Yeah, I'm gonna go with
Okay.
him. He's no longer with us. We still have, more to learn
Yeah,
from Queen Afua.
that's
We
that's
will.
a good point. Yeah, he definitely breaks it down, but I can see the relatability with Queen dealing with the sisters as in how she would talk and everything. Not saying she don't relate to us too, but I can see how that could work. But
Yeah,
yeah,
she
Dr.
definitely got
Layla
some.
Africa. What you
Yeah,
say?
she definitely got some good information for the brothers as
Yeah,
well.
yeah,
Because
yeah.
I mean, there's that balance. So she definitely brings it.
Yeah, I definitely say Dr. Layla Africa put me on understanding what to put in and what not to put in my body. So I give it to Layla too. So that's what it is. But all right, here's the next one. Here's the next one. Okay,
Uh-uh.
another scenario. You've been granted $2 million to improve your business. What would you want to do, and what does the next level look like to you?
Wow. Woo, that might be in my near future. So thank you.
Okay,
So yeah,
hey,
two
put it
million
out there.
dollars to improve. I could do quite a bit. One thing I would just say off the bat is help more people.
Mm,
Because that's
okay,
what I do is I help people.
got you.
So I would figure out how I could help more people. So expansion um, would be one way. So that means that I could have a larger team, not too
Mm.
large. You don't want to get over 100 because if you get over 100, you might be mandated to do some things that you don't want to do. Whole
Okay,
other subject. I'm not going to go into that.
got that
But
knowledge.
help more people, in terms of providing opportunity for, employment,
Mm,
and then just being available for the people who really need this work. Um, more education in our community, just more awareness and more exposure to helping people to heal from the inside out,
mm,
and just kind of getting back to working on some root cause, solutions so that we could just be, healthier mentally, physically, um, and financially.
I could see you opening up a big center that's got all types of health, wellness, and all types of different things to help people. I love it. If y'all people that once got grant money out there, y'all ready to give it to the sister so she could do that and get people's mind, body, and spirits right. Here she is, Kelly Jorae.
Thank you
Um,
for that.
hey, no doubt, and thank you for coming through. What I do want to do is let people know how they can contact you, how they can come in. Come get a colonic and all that stuff.
Okay. Please visit the website at sacredwaters.net.
Hmm.
We are also on social media. Facebook is Sacred Waters because I'm a Facebook, baby. Well, we can go back to MySpace, but
Oh.
Facebook, Sacred Waters, and also on Instagram. I know that's a very popular social media platform. We are Sacred Waters Wellness. But if you go to sacredwaters.net, You can get all of our social media platform information there. Join our email list. I only will email something that is important. It's me behind the computer most of the time. And just remember that website, sacredwaters.net, Sacred Waters Wellness on Instagram, and Sacred Waters at Facebook, 770-460-9122. We do answer our phone. Thank you so much,
No
DJ.
doubt. Hey, appreciate you. And one last thing, I just want you to let people know that are interested or have a little hesitation into getting a colonic. What's the last word you got to say for them?
It's safe. You just want to deal with someone who is experienced, who is knowledgeable, and has your best interest in mind. We depend on making sure that people have a good experience when they come to Sacred Waters. So we're going to take care of you always.
Nice. All right, Kelly, thank you for coming through to the doctor's office. I
Thank
will be,
you.
listen, I'm coming through for that colonic. I'm at least get 2 this year.
Oh, I got one thing that I need to show you.
Please.
Let me grab it? Hold on.
All right, all right. So while she's grabbing that right there, I want to let y'all know that doctor's office is back, baby. We gonna come out with a whole lot more, but we had to start it off right in 2022 with no other than Kelly Jorae. What you got there?
So this is your bag. It has been waiting for you for some time. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to
Uh-huh.
hold on to this bag so
Okay.
that you can get your goodies inside, just so you'll know. And I just want to share with you a few things.
Okay.
You have this is a sea moss soap bar, naturally made sea moss. You have another little goodie bag with some trinkets in here.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, let's see. Oh my God, and you also have some a pyrite
What?
gemstone. Yeah,
Oh
look at
man,
that.
see,
So you got some good stuff in here, Naka.
see,
You
I'm gonna have
need
to
to
go. I'm gonna have to set my appointment up now, just so I can come out there
yeah.
and get it.
So
See how
that's
see
what
how
I'm
you
gonna
got
do.
me? See how you just got me there now? You got me.
So when you
Nice.
are ready,
All right. Well, I'm
you
gonna
have
be
your
out
bag
there
here.
and I'm gonna come get that. Appreciate you. And listen, thank you for coming through to the doctor's office. I'll catch y'all next time with
Thank
Kelly
you.
Jorae.
Thank you for
Peace.
having me. Peace and love.
All right.